Wherever I will move, like the world that turns beneath me. And when I lose my direction, I look up to the sky.
Prepare to be swept away, the new Shipwreck musical inspired by the songs of the Avett Brothers, taking Broadway by storm.
And remember, we're all in this together.
We've been following this musical's journey for a while now, from La Jolla to Washington, D.C., and now Broadway. Check it out. What is Swept Away for people who don't know the story?
Swept Away is a new musical with a book by John Logan and songs by the Avett Brothers. They're a roots rock band from North Carolina. It's directed by my friend Michael Mayer, who did Spring Awakening and American Idiot with me. It's a show about 4 sailors in the late 1800s who find themselves lost at sea on a lifeboat after their whaling vessel sinks in a storm.
What drew you to this material? Was it the material and Michael? Was it working with Michael again?
Yeah, it was kind of a combination of all the factors. I got involved very early, which is something that I haven't quite done before. I said yes before there was a script. I just heard that Michael was thinking about directing it. John Logan was maybe going to take a pass at the script, and they were going to use songs by the Avett Brothers. And I'm such devout fans of all 3 of them that I just thought, well, if they're involved, I want to get involved. I don't even really know what it's going to be. I hadn't done a new musical in almost a decade at the time, and so it just thought like this is a no-brainer to me to get involved with people that I admire in a show that sounds like it's going to be a big adventure.
'Cause I want to send you and more. I want to tempt you and more. Can you tell that I am alive? Let me prove it.
Avett Brothers. Let's talk a little bit about the music and how it just feeds itself and, and describes this story and makes this big adventure happen.
Yeah, I think Scott and Seth Avett, who are the Avett Brothers, I just think they're 2 of the most gifted songwriters that we have. I've been a big fan of theirs since I was like about 20 years old. I had just moved to New York a few years prior. I was just getting my start working in theater in New York, and I discovered them. I saw them at a small folk festival outside of Philadelphia that my parents took me to. They've been taking me to the Philadelphia Folk Festival since I was a kid. My parents are big folk music aficionados. The Avett Brothers just happened to be booked. I had never heard of them. I was walking through the festival grounds and I heard them start playing. And I thought, wow, that sounds really unique. I've never heard anything quite like what these guys are doing. I couldn't even see them, they were far away. And so I walked over to the stage and I watched their whole set. And I bought their CD and bought their t-shirt. I was sort of a wannabe publicist for them. I was always telling people to check out their band.
Wow.
I never thought that, in some 14, 15 years time, I'd be working on a project with them. They're truth tellers. Their music is unbelievably raw and honest and to the point and vulnerable, and it really kind of runs the spectrum of an emotional landscape. I mean, every single kind of moment in the human experience is in one of their songs, it seems. And so even though they don't know much about the musical theater world, their music, what surprised me was it really lends itself to the art form, even though stylistically you might not think it to listen to their music or to see their concert.
Sure.
But there is a theatricality to it because they deal in really high stakes of faith or lack thereof, love and loss. It feels really, really potent, the music that they write.
I really love that. That's a really special story.
Yeah.
It's really special to see where you are today. Who could, you
wild.
talk about, that's full circle.
It really is. I mean, I find
that's
myself
different.
pinching myself. Like I've been lucky enough to meet them a few times now, and they come to see the show or stop into a rehearsal, and I get starstruck. I mean, we are so spoiled. We got to announce the Broadway bow of this show at one of their concerts at the Forest Hills back in May, which is a legendary venue. We actually went out on stage and sang with them, and I barely remember it because it was just sort of emotionally overwhelming to walk out onto their stage with them.
So I guess this is goodbye or something. I guess this is goodbye or something.
Talk a little bit about your music, your background, and the inspiration of where you've come to today.
Yeah, I mean, I play my own music and write songs as well, and I owe a massive creative debt to Scott and Seth Avett. I mean, I've been listening to their music since I was in my early 20s, and through them, I've discovered so many other amazing songwriters and people that they've toured with, and I've seen some amazing acts and made a couple of really good friends. And the meeting of folk and musical theater, I think that's why this project speaks to me so much, because my dad is obsessed with folk music and kind of traditional Irish Celtic folk music, and my mom showed me Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and West Side Story and Camelot when I was a kid. But I think that's why I love this show so much, is because it mixes the folk music that I grew up with theater, which is, you know, another world that I love to operate in. So this one is just kind of a bucket list show for me.
When you go back to the show and talk about that a little bit with regard to just kind of the emotions involved in the show, what does the audience walk away with that? Because I think there's a lot to it, a lot of layers.
Yeah, I think there's something really wild about this show, in that it does, I mean, it sounds a bit hackneyed to call it a show a ride, because everyone's like, my show's a ride, come and take the ride. And so I'm loath to use the terminology, but I have to, because I don't know how else to describe
I mean,
it.
you kind of get to use that word.
But it really is a ride. It grabs you. It's really, it's energetic. It comes out of the gate swinging. You know, I think from the first 5 minutes that it's going to be a unique night at the theater.
Yeah.
It's disarming. It'll kind of take you into moments where you think you're watching one type of show, and then 5 minutes later you're in a different kind of show. And it does it somehow without giving the audience whiplash, I feel like. At the core of it, it's a really basic human story about brotherhood and family and morality and mortality. And I think what we discovered from running the show at Berkeley Rep in California and at Arena Stage in DC is that it is an overwhelming experience for the audience. It packs a real emotional punch, and I don't know, it seems to really speak to people. I know for me it does. I think it's probably the most raw and emotional piece of theater that I've ever worked on as a performer, so it's nice to see that that is translated to the audiences as well.